are going to study about methods of epidemiology. The epidemiological studies are of two types, observational and experimental. Now, observational again it is of two types, descriptive and analytic. Now, what is descriptive and analytic epidemiology? In descriptive epidemiology, it has been explained when was the population affected, where was the population affected, and who was the population affected. It means time, person, and place. And analytic epidemiology explains how was the population affected and why was the population affected. It's a cause and effect. Descriptive epidemiology examining the distribution of disease in a population and observing the basic features of its distribution. Three essential characteristics of this disease that we look for in descriptive studies are person, place, and time. Person means who is being affected, where it is, place means where it is affected, and time when it is affected. Descriptive epidemiology describes the person in terms of its age, gender, ethnicity, genetic predisposition, concurrent disease, any disease if the person is going through, and dietary pattern, exercise behavior, any behavior like this, taking behavior like smoking or alcoholism, socio-economic status, education, and occupation. The place is described as a geographical place or area. The presence of agent or vectors in that particular area is climate, geology, population density, economical development, nutritional practices, medical practitioners, etc. Time is described as the calendar time. It means the calendar period or the period of in the calendar when the disease is occurring. Time since an event. Then physiological cycles, any cycles when it is going on. Then seasonality means the season where the disease is more or the occurrence of the disease is there. And trends the disease is being following. The epidemiological activities involved in descriptive epidemiology are demographic distribution, geographical distributions, seasonal pattern, and frequency of the disease pattern to occur. They are useful for the allocating resources, planning programs, hypothesis development. Now, what is analytic epidemiology? Testing a hypothesis about the cause of disease by studying how exposure relate to the disease. There are three essential characters that are examined to study the cause for the disease in analytic epidemiology are the host, agent, and environment. This is the epidemiological triad that you have already studied earlier. Host factors, it may be the personal traits, behaviors, genetic predisposition, immunological factors. They influence the chance for the disease or its severity. Like the smokers are more prone to have lung cancers. Agent factors like biological, physical, chemical, mechanical, nutritional, etc. These are necessary for the disease to occur. The environmental factors, these are the external conditions, maybe physical or the biological or the social environment. It contributes the disease to process. Epidemics are arising due to when the host, agent, and environmental factors are not in balance or their ecological balance is being disturbed. It may be due to the new agent or due to change in existing agent or mutation of the agent. which may change the infectivity, pathogenicity, or virulence, and it may be due to the change in number of susceptible in the population and due to environmental changes that affects transmission of the agent or growth of the agent. Epidemiological activities in analytic studies are to build around the analysis of the relationship between two items, that is exposure and effect. What was the exposure? Like smoking was the exposure and effect was the lung cancers. Then looking for the determinants or possible cause of the disease is useful for the hypothesis testing to predict that if the person is smoking, then the person may have the lung cancer. Analytic studies are of mainly three types. Cross-section studies. It deals with the prevalence of the disease at a given point. Then case control studies, which gives the case reference whether the disease was there or not. Cohort studies are deals with the follow-up of the cases. Cross-sectional studies. A random sample of individuals from a population is taken at a point in time by survey to collect the data. The advantage of these studies are it is quick to conduct and cost is moderate compared with the other studies designs. The disadvantage of these studies are cannot provide information on the incidence of disease in a population. Only an estimate of prevalence can be estimated. Then difficult to investigate cause and effect relationship. In the case control studies, the subjects identified as having a disease or conditions are compared with subjects without the same disease or conditions. The comparing the frequency of past exposure between cases who develop the disease and controls chosen to reflect the frequency of exposure in the underlying population at risk. Same way, like we were discussing about the persons who are smoking and they were exposed to the smoking and then they have developed the lung cancers. And then controls are the persons who have were smoking but they did not develop the lung cancer. Advantages of case control studies are an efficient method for studying rare diseases. Risk factors can be identified and subjects have experienced the outcome of interest at the start of the study. Quick to run and cheaper than other studies. No follow-up is required. Disadvantages of case control studies are it cannot provide information on the disease incidence in a population, reliance on the quality of past records or recollection of study participants, difficult to ensure an unbiased selection of the control group, do not distinguish between the cause and associated factors. Cohort study. Cohort means group of people who share common characteristics. In this, the subjects are categorized on the basis of their exposure to one or more risk factors, like the persons or the workers who are working in a silicon factory. So they are exposed to that silicosis. They may have the silicosis in the future. The study comparing disease incidence over time between the groups. It may be prospective for a study. It was prospective means in the future they will develop. So here we are taking the non-disease cases. Then we are dividing them to the exposed and non-exposed. Means exposed means they are working in the silicon area, and not exposed means they are not working. Then out of that we'll say that in the exposed cases we'll see that whether how many of them they have developed the disease and how many of them they did not develop the disease silicosis. Non-exposed case of group also will see that the how many of them they have developed the disease and they have not developed the disease. Retrospective cohort studies. The disease case is here evaluated for the evidence of exposure to the agent. we go back and collect the history of exposure. In this case, we take the disease case and then we study about whether they were exposed to or not exposed to the disease agent. Like the lung cancers are there, we take the case of lung cancer and then we'll go back to the study and collect the history whether the patient was smoker or not smoker. Advantages of cohort studies, that is, it is monitored over time for disease occurrence. Sometimes it may have the period of 15 to 40 years. Estimates of the absolute incidence of diseases exposed and non-exposed. The disadvantages are long follow-up period. In case of rare diseases, large groups are necessary to find out the cause. The losers to follow-up, sometimes the follow-up cannot be done. These studies are expensive. Experimental studies. In experimental studies, the epidemiologist assigns subject to the treatment. This is the contrast to the observational studies, where the researcher gives treatment to subject and observe subjects for the effectiveness of treatment or result to happen. One type of common experimental study is the randomized controlled trial studies. In the randomized controlled trial studies, the subjects are randomly selected and given the treatment or control. Control means when the treatment is not being given. For example, to see whether a medicine herb decreases the incidence of depression, subjects were randomly given either a medicine herb or a placebo. Depending on what treatment they received, herb or the placebo, they were in either group 1 or group 2. Then the data obtained is analyzed to see the effectiveness of medicine herb to decrease incidence of depression cases in the treatment group.